Braid Art Centre and Museum dominates the surrounding skyline of Ballymena. The Braid has brought about the rebirth of the old town hall with a dynamic contemporary extension which now enables access for all to the original 1928 building. Now an important hub in the borough, the new building has added a regional museum and an art centre to the civic administrative heart of the town. From the outset, the building aspired to be an exemplar of inclusive design.
The Braid is successful in terms of access, mainly because access was an integral part of the design from the beginning. This is a new building married into an old listed building, so we involved disability action, the experts, we involved the local access groups who would be using the building, and we included all parts of access for everyone in the design of the building. The entrance to the Braid was a bit of a problem because of the slope in Bridge Street, the street running adjacent to the building. We teamed up with DRD Road Service and we altered the levels of the footpath outside, and we included level access in the floor levels of the building so that they all marry up and people in wheelchairs go straight into the building without any steps.
In Disability Action, we were delighted to get involved at such an early stage in the design project of the Braid, and that's unusual for the clients and for the design team to show such a degree of commitment to making sure that accessibility is an integral part of the design process. And it works in the Braid. We're delighted to see an end product which is truly accessible to all people and doesn't discriminate between people.
As you come through the main entrance from street level, you're facing 12 steps to take you to upper ground level. Those steps are ambulance disabled. In other words, they're easier to climb for people who have trouble climbing steps. Every stair in the building, with the exception of the spiral stair, is ambulance disabled design. There are lifts alongside each stair, so you have the alternative to climb a stair or use a lift. And there are some 6 lifts in the building, and all the doors throughout the main routes in the building are automatic opening doors. All the signage is in Braille as well as normal. The letter sizing is of the size it can be seen by people with partial sight. The colour contrasts on the floors, etc., are there to delineate between floors, walls, handles, doors, etc. As would be expected, all the toilet facilities which are suitable for people with disabilities are in place. And also in all of the theatres and all of the reception areas, induction loop systems are in place for people with hearing difficulties. Even stage access is accommodated for artists and stage technicians, etc., where there's a disability there. This is a very important stair to take people up to the auditorium level. A special part of design in this stair is the translucent material used for the riser here. Allows light through, but also allows people who have particular difficulties in walking to actually walk up the stair without tripping. Another very important aspect of stairs are people who are partially sighted need to know when they're coming to what could be a hazard or a fall on the stairs. To accommodate this, we have shown them by use of embossed indicators here on the stairs, 3, 2, 1, when they've come to the 3rd, 2nd and last step. This is very important to people who are partially sighted because it indicates when they're coming to a possible hazard where they could have a trip or a fall.
Some of the detail that has been used includes things like the recessed mat well at the entrance, which is not a tripping hazard to anyone. We have features such as Braid included on the backs of the chairs in the theatre. We also have viewpoints which have been set at a height which are accessible for wheelchair users. We have lower level sinks and urinals within the sanitary accommodation, and there's also the capacity at this building to include a changing places WC, which allows for the inclusion of an adult changing bench, which will make this building a building which is fit to face the future in terms of how accessibility is likely to move on within the next 10-20 years.
The Council had the foresight to comply with a standard known as BS 8300, which is not included as yet in the building regulations in Northern Ireland. When we get people into the building, we obviously have to get them out in case of an emergency. And that's been well covered in the Braid, in that we have trained staff to usher people out to places of safety. We have refuge areas for people who can move slower and can't actually follow the crowd out immediately. And the alarm systems are covered in terms of sound, in terms of sight by flashing lights, and also voiceover in terms of telling you this is an emergency, you must evacuate the building. So we have covered all those areas to allow for any disability that might occur, and in that way we get people safely out of the building.
Local people are delighted with the end product that is the Braid. They have now a theatre where they can participate in shows as well as going to see whatever performance happens to be on. As well as that, the Council have a highly marketable product which would bring people into the area. The Braid doesn't discriminate in any fashion between any user of the building. All people share the same circulation route, and the involvement of the local access group and ourselves as access consultants has meant that there's attention to detail in the Braid, which means that smaller features which don't normally be even included or thought about in terms of accessibility at the Braid are accessible. The people-led approach pursued by both the Council and the designers of this scheme has succeeded in bringing back to life the 1920s Town Hall building to not only today's building standards but beyond, so that the building will continue to lead by example into the future.